Hey guys, Stephanie here. Please hit that like, subscribe, and share. Well, coronavirus here in Houston and now in Fort Bend. Honestly, the CDC is responsible, and so are so many other people in our Congress who brought these people to San Antonio, knowing some of them were positive. These test kits are not accurate. They don't even have enough test kits. The incubation time is anywhere from like 24 days all the way up to 42. While you're testing negative and while you're still in that incubation period of a month, you're still spreading that virus. So think about it. You go to the grocery store, right? Say, I have it, but I don't know it. I feel fine, but I'm carrying it and it's still in the incubation stage. I go to Kroger, talk to that lady. The lady at that cash register gets it. She's going to give it to everybody else. It is a huge domino effect, okay? So the fact that they took this lady in San Antonio and she tested positive, then tested negative, then they let her go. Test came back positive not too long after. They took her to the mall where she breathed on everybody, just walking around, chilling, having a grand old time. And it kind of pisses me off because I mean, even though I've always I started prepping years ago, and well, it's because I also can see. I mean, the signs are all around you. You have a government that is telling the police not to follow the constitutional rights and bills and laws. You have two political parties that are totally at war. Okay, you have this whole hate atmosphere. I mean, civil war and all these signs are right in front of people's faces, but people are too naive. They're too stupid, honestly, because it's uncomfortable. Nobody wants to think of that stuff, but I do. Because, if things start looking a certain way, eh, well, it's usually because there's something to it. And the fact that, they're not telling people, they're saying like presume cases, we're monitoring people. Well, you're not being honest either. They have it. You don't want to spread panic and fear, but at the same time, more people like here in Houston going to the rodeo, going to the cook off. It's like a petri dish for this crap. You have all these huge events and sporting things that are getting canceled all over other countries, but here in America, because we got to have our Super Tuesday, and people got to get out there and hurry and vote. They care about the votes. They care about not crashing the stock market. They care about people not panic buying and panicking, which I think honestly I get it, but also it's irresponsible because just like look at Hurricane Katrina. Look how much of a bang up job they did there. Look at Puerto Rico. I mean, whenever the government says we're here to help, trust us, question it, think about it. Biden, he's going to sue all the gun makers, all these lawsuits. He's coming for your guns. They've been trying to get our guns for a long time. Medical martial law, it's coming. This is a real thing. It's going to happen. It's already starting to happen in other states. California just came and announced that basically they will be going to people's houses and checking on them and scanning their heads and stuff like that. Well, I mean, a lot of their tests and stuff are inaccurate. So if they instill medical martial law and they disarm all the citizens, well, then the Democrats, the demonic, evil fucking Democrats, they got that, right? And all over Twitter, it's like, Trump's doing this, so the election can't happen. It's always good to be devil's advocate and look at what would Trump have to gain out of crashing a market he's extremely proud of. What would Democrats gain out of the crashing stock market, global pandemic, medical martial law? They get complete power and control. Oh my God. Seriously, people are going to be forced. They're opening hotels and their stadiums, sporting facilities where they can take people to. So what is this roundup going to look like? Also, Obama and the Patriot Act 2015, I really think people need to start paying attention and open their eyes to this. But they put in there that people who are preppers and who have supplies are considered a domestic threat. And they can take all your supplies and they can also take you to jail because under martial law, their habeas corpus, there is no due process. Basically, you have military enforced stuff and you can't protect yourself and you have to obey. Hitler did this, okay? Hitler was very methodical on what he did. And if you see the atmosphere in the past couple years of how they're turning one party against each other, the mainstream media, liberals, Democrats have constantly been violent and attacking, threatening other Republican, you know, people in the government, openly threaten them on TV, but nothing's done. Nobody condemns this. It's okay, right? No. And the worst thing is people, they have to have self-awareness. People have to be able to mentally and emotionally prepare for what could possibly be coming their way. So when you have mainstream media, when you've had WHO and you've had the CDC, all these people lying to us, telling you, oh, it's just a cold, it's just a flu, wash your hands. Really? So you need military enforcement. You got to open up hotels and FEMA camps, and which I find really sad because they're mainly starting to take all the homeless people and people like that into these encampments in California. And maybe people should listen to Depopulation Agenda, Bill Gates, Agenda 21. Okay? Um, Shit's gonna get real. And I'm not trying to fearmonger. These are my own personal opinions. Call it conspiracy, call it what you will. I just say I'm not naive. If things don't add up and things don't look right, and you can see it in people's eyes too. When I go to the store and I'm just getting regular stuff, I'm looking at people and they're looking at each other's carts like, what, am I forgetting something? And the main thing that will create so much chaos and panic is people not being able to cope, not having self awareness, not having a plan, not saying, okay, this is what it's going to be, this is what we need to do to prepare, this is a possible outcome, that's a possible outcome, and just be ready for it. Let your kids know, hey, it's going to be okay. I got you. Another thing is, with being quarantined and locked down and kids not being in school, not being able to leave the house, I think parents, have to think about what it's going to be like being cooped up, kids getting cooped up. You should get like arts and crafts stuff, find things like, old school board games. Like I just ordered Clue and stuff like that. That way, you got to be able to break some of everything. You have to balance it out. If you struggle with anxiety and depression and stuff like that, go on YouTube. There's tons of, guided meditations, hypnosis stuff. Actually, it's pretty powerful stuff. There's also Rife frequencies you can listen to, Royal Rife. Hold on, I got one of the things. There's Sapien Med, Volk, Olga. There's tons of them. There's also Brenial beats and stuff like that. Just if you're not a big meditator, if your head just constantly spins, just get some earbuds, find a space, sit down, relax and breathe, and just know that whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You don't have to freak out. You don't have to be fearful or panic, but you have to stay vigilant and you have to be honest with yourself. Because even yesterday I was on Twitter and the guy here on KHOU channel 11, on the Fort Bend coronavirus, he's like, well, it's a presumed case. No, dude. And he came back and told me, well, I'm being told what to say. Exactly. Be a real journalist. Have compassion. Why can't anybody just fucking be honest with us, for God's sake? It doesn't matter what race, religion, what political party you're on. Are you awake yet, people? Are you seeing what's really happening? I mean, come on. Here in Fifth Ward, these 5G towers are giving people cancer, huge clusters of cancer. California school, there's a bunch of elementary kids. One passed away. AT&T built a 5G tower right in the back of the school, and like that, these kids are getting tumors in their kidneys, their brain, their hearts. Little babies getting these massive cancers and tumors. And then after the one kid died, and the parents, started complaining and they were protesting it. Well, AT&T took the tower down, but then they said, well, it's not really the cause. Then what is the cause? Because you're not being honest about that. We're mainly made of water, okay? Like royal rife frequencies, you can actually shatter cancer with it. This is how right now they're doing surgeries and stuff like that with skin tightening. Radio frequencies are a real thing, but big pharma and government doesn't want you to know that you can do these things to help heal yourself with your mind and your body, and also with holistic stuff, because they lose a ton of money. Okay? But we know 5G is bad. After 60 gigahertz, it starts disrupting the DNA at a cellular level. So people get anxious, they get angry. Think about all these murders, suicides. You got people attacking each other in the streets, just pure anger and hate. Where's this coming from? These EMF frequencies and emissions are toxic, they're dangerous. Okay? It's a real thing. In Wuhan, when all this broke out, they just went full 5G. Just Google it, look it up. If you want to say conspiracy or it's not true, that's fine. This is just my opinion. But I think it's really important that people, are a little more strategical and realistic about the outcome, because all the ports around the United States, they're bare. Okay? So even if you have 30 days supply of food, it's eventually going to run out. You know what I mean? You can also, start deep cleaning your house, like bleach everything down, stay away from crowds. When you go somewhere, just make sure you're not touching your hands and your face. I mean, I'm like, around people. I'm just like, wow. And the mortality rate is jumping. People are dying quicker. And it's not just in old people and stuff. I mean, all the stereotypes, all the things they're saying. There's a guy here in Houston who died of flu-like symptoms, and he had his own fitness gym. He was a trainer. The guy was in perfect shape and young. Okay, so just think. Worst case scenario, what we're being told, what other people are saying, even though they fact check it, debunk it, blah, 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 blah. But use your own common sense and your own intuition. All right. And I'm not going to lie, people, if y'all smoke cigarettes, get nicotine patches. We're looking at probably about 90 days of severe supply disruptions, because if people can't go to work, you already have Facebook, Twitter, you already have all these huge corporations telling people to work from home. And this was a while ago when they were still telling you, no threat, you're fine. Go to the cook-off, go to the rodeo, go live your life. Keep fucking spreading this shit. And people are so damn uncomfortable with reality, or even being alone by themselves, even in their own thoughts. And I honestly think that what's coming is going to be extremely bad. And I'm praying for everybody. And I love you all. Thank you for my new subscribers. Thank you guys for the positive comments. It really makes me feel good. And, I just want everybody to be aware. And also, you have to think about, you can preserve store-bought eggs in water, and it's like a lime citrate. You can also make sure you get powdered milk, because if you can't go to the grocery stores, or if supply chains can't go deliver this stuff, you need to have think about it. You're going to need milk, you need butter. Also stock up on feminine hygiene. You need to stock up on body wash, toothpaste, things that you normally just go. And if you can't afford it, go to the dollar store. The dollar store has a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? And just hearing Gavin Newsom this morning talking, oh, I wanted to vomit. Just like Kumo. Well, it's gonna be a couple dozen here, dozen there. No. What do you mean? Like they're also blase blah. No. If you're an alcoholic, and make sure you go buy some bottles of cheap liquor. Okay. If you take antidepressants, if you take prescription medication, call your doctor. Tell them that you need at least 60 days. Okay. Get some gas cans. Store some extra gas in your garage. Also, on the news, they just said, don't go to the ER in the hospital, call this hotline. Why not tell people, hey, you need to prepare? Another thing, if we can't buy bread, you should stock up on a ton of sugar, flour, yeast, pure vanilla extract. Start thinking of, okay, we are all spoiled and we're used to getting everything through a drive-through, delivered, pre-made. We don't really ever have to make anything from scratch on our own. So start looking into cheap recipes like goulash, casseroles. Go buy at least like 50 pounds of rice, beans. Make sure you have some gas or like a little Coleman propane stove. Make sure you have a lot of batteries, tons and tons and tons and tons of trash cans. Also, just in case we, don't have clean water or water gets cut off because people can't go to the water plants and stuff. Because in China, this stuff's happening. It's been happening. They've been on lockdown for like 60 days, over 60 days now. And they're still going without. So if it can happen there and it's already starting to spread here, think about this. If you can't go to the bathroom in your toilet and flush it, what are you going to do? Get a 5-gallon bucket. Get some really heavy duty trash bags. Put it inside there. You can go on Amazon and get a toilet like lid for like emergency prep stuff. Get cat litter. Get a bunch of cheap cat litter. Put the cat litter in the bucket. Worst case scenario, you can go to the bathroom. Another thing you have to think about is water. You're going to need to have water to wash your hands, to bathe. For animals, they say to have a gallon of water at least every day for animals that you have. Not only that, the average person needs about 2 gallons of water, 3 gallons of water a day, and that's on full-blown survival. But we're used to just turn on the water, running it when we brush our teeth, when we take a shower, all that. Also, laundry detergent, dish soap, basic things that people are used to just having either delivered via Amazon or running up to Walgreens, because eventually Amazon supplies are going to be on back order like many are. Toilet paper's already off the shelves, So you got to start thinking outside the box, and hey, I'm not going to be shit out of luck, because you will end up in one of these FEMA camps. If you are not self-sufficient, you will be like all the other zombie brains who can't even acknowledge their own reality because they're too busy believing what everybody says. I don't know, guys. I love you guys, and really be safe. And I really wish I was wrong about this stuff, and I've been saying this for a while. And even in September, I did a video talking about how Obama did some really shitty stuff with the laws to where they can take all of our freedom like that. They're going to declare a medical martial law eventually. You guys, you got to wake up. Make sure you get extra oil for your car, coolant, things that you have to have. What is another thing that I read? Oh no, I read tons of stuff, honestly. Also, start looking into homeopathic natural supplements for lungs and stuff like that to help clear out your lungs, because Tylenol, ibuprofen, cold meds, they're already getting limited on how many you can buy. So even when the stores do get stocked up, there'll be limit restrictions. So if you have a large household, well, you're fucked. You're fucked. And also make sure you get like some sweets, chocolate, stuff like that. Get stuff to like make cakes and cookies. That way, try to keep some kind of good vibe in your house. Get some candles or some essential oils. Just try to stay as positive as you can. Don't don't get into the panic and the fear. Just remember that this is the calm before the storm. How you're gonna ride it out is on you. But if you choose to pretend like it's no big deal, you just wash your hands. Well, this is now community spread, not just through spit or sneezing or droplets. This is now community spread. Look up 5G coronavirus. Google it. Go on DuckDuck or DuckDuckGo, whatever the private search engine. This shit's real. They're opening FEMA camp. Oh my God, you guys. Why didn't anybody listen to me? I've been trying to tell people for years with this new world order, depopulation, the vaccinations, all this stuff that they're doing is real. And people called me crazy. And you know what? I don't take it personal. But now that shit is getting real, then people want to take me seriously. And it's like, really? I've been busting my ass for years preparing for things. And everybody else is just blah, 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 blah. Oh, hey, I kind of need you. And see, those people are the people that are more likely gonna steal your shit if shit hits the fan and they get desperate. Don't be a dick, though. If you have neighbors or something like that and they have kids and they don't have food or something, just put together, some rice and beans. Just put it in a bag outside the door. Let them get it. Make sure that you're compassionate and you're giving toward other people, but also don't give things away that you are personally going to need, because you need to be as frugal and non-wasteful, and also start looking up ways like compost trash and stuff like that in case we can't get anything. Also, maybe get some seeds and all that in case we're stuck for 90 days or more and shit gets really bad. At least start a garden. Start doing something to where you're not just sitting around watching the news or reading Twitter or YouTube videos or the news, just constantly in that state of mind. You've got to get out of your head, because that is like the worst, when you're stuck in your own thoughts in your head and you hear all these different talking points and you don't really know who's being honest. But honestly, it is time for people, to come together regardless and realize that all this totalitarianism, this tyranny, it's real. And again, love you guys. Also, Alan Watts, he's a really good spiritual on YouTube, really good. Also, TED Talks. Listen to how you can get outside of your head, rewire your brain, reprogram yourself through like affirmations, meditation. You have to keep some kind of healthy mental state. And it's really important that you remember that for your kids, to be calm. Don't let them see you freaking out. Try to be as composed as possible, and then go cry in your bedroom or freak out somewhere else. Also, make sure you have back like plastic drops or tarps or something like that, duct tape, in case you have someone in your home who becomes sick and you have to quarantine them in your home. Make sure you get a lot of air filters. Also, Canadian Prepper, he has a good video on how to make your own face mask with regular air filters that you use in your home. Guys, have about 90 days worth of stuff. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope everybody is going to be great. And worst case scenario, we just have a bunch of extra crap when you don't have to go to the grocery store for a while. For people who don't have much money, praying for you. Maybe friends or family can help you out. I'm not sure. But also think about babies, and, if all moms out there, seriously, we should stick together, because I wouldn't want anything to happen to my kids, nor would I want anybody else's child to suffer, period. So I love you guys. Hit that like, subscribe, and share. Talk to you later. Bye.